and thanks for joining us on the Signature Show. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. Today, like we've done in these several weeks, we are bringing you another icon, another veteran, a man who moved from sports to Nollywood. You see him every day in films here and there, but he was better known for sports as one of Nigeria's very successful sports commentators. My pleasure to welcome Diewait Ikpechukwu to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Diewait, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You look good.
And you too.
You know, for several weeks now, I've been trying to, get all of you out. Because there's so much for the young ones to learn from your career, your life, your challenges, and all that. I remember you as a young broadcaster in Radio Nigeria. You were one of those commentators we wanted to listen to. I know a lot of people that watch you on TV, when they see you in films, don't remember that part of you. What do you miss about, commentating and sports?
Well, I don't miss much. I'm still in sports. Right now, I'm a member of the technical committee of the Nigerian National League. And during the last government in Abia State, I was a board member of Abia Warriors. And I was a member of Nigerian Football Federation Protocol and Ceremonial Committee. I was the Premier League match commissioner. I'm still in the game. So I combine both. So I don't miss much. I go to the stadium every day. Every day Rangers play.
But you're not a commentator anymore. You're no longer bringing the matches live to our radio sets. You don't do that anymore.
Because most radio stations don't do that again.
They don't do commentaries.
They don't do that. I mean, I don't know whether they still have outside broadcast unit. Radio Nigeria, it's been a long time I had them. The last time was when people like Andrew Nebedum in Enugu here was running commentary and Nduka Bikwel. But during the Super 8 match for Nigerian National League, a competition they used to choose teams that will be promoted to the Premier League, Radio Nigeria ran commentary.
So if you have opportunity, to run commentary, do you still have the energy?
Why not? Why not? I will do that. I mean, it's something I have passion for.
So tell me, when you are commentating in a match, or when you are running commentary in a match, how does your brain work? Because for me, I see it as an artist or a novelist transforming still things or action to life for people that are not seen. I mean, in what state of mind do people like you who do this so well, how do you do it?
Yeah, you see, in running commentary, you must have the language power. That's why I tell the younger commentators, you have to read. Even at my age, I read every day of my life, so that you can do this thing in such a way that the person at home will feel that he is there. And that is why in those days, people put off the volume of their television and listen to the commentator and follow the game. But these days, I don't know, some people who don't really, this might sound funny to you. I've had people using Igbo to run commentary. But that's not bad. The only thing is that they are not giving the people at home what is happening in the field of play.
There's something I've noticed with sports presenters today, and even at some point, you were also a sports presenter.
Yeah.
You participated in a lot of presentation
Yes.
of sports programs. There's something I've noticed these days, that there's this pattern. Every sports presenter, whether they mistake presentation for commentary, and you see them, and you're like not really understanding what they are saying. Is it something you're comfortable with, or is it professional?
No, I'm not comfortable with it, and I've had opportunity to tell some of them that they don't work hard. For instance, a lot of radio presenters, sports presenters, they go and read what is in the newspaper verbatim. They don't even change certain.
And the languages are not the same.
Yeah. So I tell them, you need to really work hard. You need, even if you are using the newspaper, what they wrote there, change the language so that people will believe that you were there when they're not sitting at home getting newspaper and go to the studio and read what is written in the newspaper verbatim.
No work. You do no research, nothing.
At all.
Well, maybe at this point we should look at broadcasting, because running commentary, presenting sports is all about broadcasting. Are you happy with the standard of broadcasting today? I mean, when you look back, you were there with greats like Ernest Okonkwo, Sebastian Broderick, Kevin Ejiofor, Emeka Odipo, Richard Asiebu. These were great, sports broadcasters.
Yes.
Looking at broadcasting generally, are you impressed with what we see today?
You know, at that time, broadcasters used to go on course at I think is Oshodi training school.
Training school, FRCM training school.
You spend 1 year, they train you in the art of broadcasting. But right now, somebody jumps into the studio and start talking.
And say they are AOP.
You know?
On a personality. Yes.
Which is unfortunate. We came into broadcasting as guest artists. The first person that gave me the opportunity to talk on the radio was Kevin Ejiofor. And I think he was happy with what I gave him the first time. So regularly he invites me to do sports broadcast for him and run commentary.
Let me even take you back a little bit, because fresh from the university, you made contact with broadcasting in Lagos. Where did you develop the interest in sports? Was it in the university or from secondary school? At what point did you develop this keen interest in broadcasting?
When I was in secondary school, I used to go to where they play football matches. I was running local commentary. Just doing the commentary, and the thing entered my body. And even when I was in the university, I used to, when I'm on holidays, I go to Radio Nigeria, Enugu, and do commentary. I go to ESBS. In fact, myself and the one Tony St. Ike, he's late now, we were the highest paid artists.
At that time?
Yes. You know. So from there, when I finished my school, did my youth service, I went to Lagos to live with my uncle. So I was going to Radio Nigeria at Ikoyi I was working with Ernest Okonkwo. I was a stringer, giving them some information they require. And he liked what I was doing. and himself and Sebastian Offrom, and one Tolufato Imbo.
Tolufato Imbo.
That's right. And the one Ghanaian that was running commentary in Lagos. What's his name? Joe Latte. So I was working with them.
You know, some of you are lucky to have worked with these great sports broadcasters.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little about that very great one, Ernest Okonkwo.
That was a football encyclopedia. Ernest had name for most players.
And they stuck.
He was the person that gave Christian Chukwu chairman Christian Chukwu. Emmanuel Okalaman Mountain. Sylvanus Okpala Quicksilver. Idowu Otubochin. There's another Adoki Amesemeka, Chief Justice. You know, Shego Odebami. He gave him mathematical Odebami. Mathematical. Nnamdi Anyafo, he gave him policeman. Because he policed Odebami in a match that Rangers played against Shooting Stars. Odebami couldn't move. Nnamdi was routine permanently.
And he derived these names from their performance.
Hi.
Like when he says Chairman Christian Chukwu, because you saw Christian Chukwu dominate the field,
yes.
Was in charge.
Oh, yes. There was something he said one day. Rangers played against Kano Pillars. He said, Shefiu Mohammed passed the ball to Mohammed again, and they beat Christian Chukwu, beat Christian Mado. He must be a Muslim. You know, he will always say something.
Yes.
The man was something else. He was great. He was great.
Okay. You were in commentaries.
That's right.
And then you moved into management, football management.
That's right.
Because I remember that many years back, you were manager of the great P&T Vasco da Gama.
No, Nitel.
When he had turned to Nitel.
Nitel, yes. They had two teams that time. P was postal.
Mm-hmm.
T was
telecommunication.
Mm-hmm. So Nitel, Vasco, the postal one had their own team.
But Vasco was the team.
Oh yeah.
So
Vasco
how did you move from broadcasting, sports broadcasting, to sports management or football management?
After my graduation, after my youth service, I stayed a little bit in Lagos. When I came back to Enugu, where my parents lived. And I worked with assessor.
That's the environmental...
Yes, I was the team manager of Assessor Warriors.
Oh.
And when we gave Rangers tough time in the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Assessor Warriors.
In 1990, then there was Nitel, they were recruiting. The general manager of Nitel, of P&T, South East Zone, a Yoruba man, invited me to his office. I said, apply for job to work as, not as a team manager, to work as, I went for 1 year course in Oshodi. And after the course, they started transferring people to various places. The man specifically asked for my being transferred to Enugu. And immediately I was transferred to Enugu. 1 week after, he invited me to his office and said, you will be the team manager of Nitel Vasco. I looked at me just coming in. He made me the team manager. And that was in 1990. In 1991, my first year as team manager, I beat Rangers in FA Cup.
You know, not too long ago, I had a chairman, Christian Chukwu, on this show.
Okay.
And I said, Chairman Christian Chukwu, tell me, do you remember any time that Vasco da Gama beat Rangers? It was difficult for him to remember because I remember as a young boy that Rangers will go all over Nigeria, all over Africa, and do so well. And when it came to a match with Vasco da Gama, I think that usually was their toughest match.
Do you know there was a time Rangers played football for 2 years without losing any match? But the first match they lost was against Vasco. You know, Vasco had, that time I hadn't joined that time, when it was P&T Vasco da Gama. People like O.J. Chukwu, Old Ghana, you know, big Umelo Ahamefula, Alphonsus Dike, Kevin Onwana, all those great players were in Vasco.
Some people said that the rivalry between Rangers and Vasco da Gama is like this man, we live in the same place. I know you inside out. You know, that kind of a thing. That Vasco never really performed outside Enugu, but they always gave Rangers a tough time. What could have been responsible for that?
The fact, I don't know. That year we beat them. We went for National Challenge Cup. We were almost winning in Kano. And at the tail end of the game, they scored us 1 goal. People say, Diewait, you have beaten Rangers. Why not go far? I said, well, even when I was the team manager of Vasco, inside me, I was a Rangers person.
Just like every other Igbo man at that
Because, you know, Rangers, for me, is a movement. It's an identity of a race. You know, it was Rangers that gave the Igbo man place in Nigeria after the war. You remember in 1970, the army team was registered for African Championship League before the final competition in Nigeria was played. So when they played against Rangers, Rangers beat them. Then Nigerian Football Association at that time had the problem of going to withdraw
a team that was registered.
And that day, Rangers beat the army team in Enugu here. Hey, I was small. We were all beaten mercilessly by soldiers. Why did you beat? We were beaten mercilessly. They beat us high. I didn't know I could run. That was
let me ask you. Those years, if you came to the stadium, the crowd was something else.
Exactly.
It was a tug of war getting into the stadium.
Exactly.
When like Rangers is playing, Vasco is playing, or when Rangers is playing IICC, or they're playing Kano Pillars and all that. What went wrong? How did we become slaves to these foreign leagues and foreign teams? What went wrong? I mean, this is an area you know so well. What went wrong?
You know, most clubs don't have a marketing department. It's very important. You have to market your team for people to come. And in those days, people come to the stadium to watch 1 or 2 players, to watch the magic Sandy Okoronkwo will do and play the whole match without his dress being dirtied. It was pure white.
Because they called him stainless.
Oh, yes. And the way he will dribble you. And you watch people like Nwabeze Nwankwo, who will tell the opposing team, You are coming to play against your father. I will kill you. Go and ask them. I killed somebody during the war. The first team, the first people that formed Rangers, a lot of them came from the war. And the name Rangers came from Biafra Rangers, a strike force. You know, one base and one was in Biafra Rangers, all of them, some of them. You know, and the people like Jazz Bukana, Luke Obala will tell you, when he's warming up, instead of warming normally, he will be showing you his heart thoughts. To say he will brush your hair today. I'll kill you. even that time, the referees, to me, were partial. When they come into the field, when they're addressing, they say, you people have to be very careful. You know you are playing against Rangers. When the referee talks to you like this, what are you expecting?
But what kind of passion drove those players of those days? There wasn't much money.
They don't have passion for the game. And they had skill. You know? These days, you don't see much skillful players. They are in the game because of money.
Okay.
In that time, I see bacha ball, or
So if you play, you have some orange for refreshment.
That's it.
And that was all that mattered. Well, we'll take a break. When we return, Diewait Ikpechukwu from sports to Nollywood. Don't go away.
When the issues matter and the need to know matters.
The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up a Rufai committee recommending structuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Uvoranwe was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Too Funny. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Signature Show. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. And my guest is Diewait Ikpechukwu, sports commentator, football manager, and Nollywood star. Diewait, for some of us, we knew you for your sports commentary, for your sports management, but suddenly you popped in Nollywood. What happened?
Actually, even when I was working with Nitel, I did a few television drama programs with NTA. This Zebediah program, this
New
Masquerade. I did about 2 programs with them, and then Second Chance. I did about 2 or 3 programs with them. So when I retired from Nitel, one day somebody they call Amako.
Okay, the film producer.
Yes, called me and gave me a script and said, you are going to play Igwe in this script. Something that I have had passion for, you know. So I read the script, and the name of the movie is Evil Man. All the bad people in film industry, bad people in quote, Peter Doche, Larry Colesworth, this man that had baritone voice, well, Sam Dede, Liz Benson, all the big people were in that film, and I was Igwe. Small me. Not a good Igwe, a very bad one. And you can imagine an Igwe that banished somebody, Liz Benson, for doing nothing. Because people like Pete accused her of so many things.
In that movie.
That she killed the husband, she did that. And when they brought the case to the Igwe, Igwe did not want to hear the other side of the story. Banished her from the town. You know. So that was the film.
That introduced you to Nollywood.
Exactly. And another one came up later. The one they call Antichrist. Antichrist is a film concerning 666. That if you don't take the mark, you cannot even buy anything in the market. You can't interact with people. So I was the reverend that refused to take the mark. And I was tortured thoroughly. In that film, you can imagine, you know, some Gentle Jack, as huge as he is, he was running across the house of Sandra Achoms.
Of those days?
Yes. And asked me, where is he? Where is he? The people that ran away, that refused to take the mark, crossed her house. He asked me, where is he? Where is he? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He gave me a slap. Very serious one. But before then, he had already told me that he's going to mime it. He's not going to give me, you know, his language, he said, I'm not going to yank you. So, but when I didn't know that the director told him
to give you a good slap
so that it would have some impact. Gentle Jack slapped me. I didn't see anything again. I was not.
It was no longer drama.
I was not seeing anybody. The thing got me annoyed. I said, hi. I said, I won't act again. The executive producer begged me. I said, no. How did you not see Gentle Jack hand? How can this hand slap me this face? I said, if you knew, as you talk to me, I know they see you.
But these were the things some of you at that initial Nollywood, you know, took because you wanted the real thing to be done.
Yes, yes. And another thing that made me fear was when they threw me into prison. You know where we used as our prison? Enugu Zoo at that time. And the thing that was blocking the lion was
separating you from the lion.
Lion was there. Hey! And there was heavy rain. I said, hi. Diewait Ikpechukwu. And I'm telling you.
So what story were you telling that you had to go to the zoo near the lion to do that?
That was a place they saw as the best place to use as prison. It's not only me, they threw some of us into the prison for refusing to take the mark. Come on, they pushed us. And you know, this was happening at about 10 p.m.
in the night.
Heavy rain.
And you were shooting?
Hey. No, at that time, I've shot all through the night in the bush for an epic movie. And the Amanechi was the person who directed the movie. And I just stayed in one place. I said, Diewait, if they go and ask your son now, where is your father? My son will say he went to work.
He's looking for money.
And they don't know that I'm in the bush.
But I think, and it's not just Nollywood, even in Hollywood or Bollywood, there's this effort to make it look real, to make it very professional. And that way you get the best out of the story, out of the actors.
What they do is in Hollywood, because I've had the opportunity of shooting in Maryland, America. If they want to form bush, it's in the same place.
They'll create it.
Create it. You know, what they use is just fabricated. They just create bush. They create whatever they want. That place. Not to go to a very dangerous bush where it is possible a lion is there.
No, but when they shot Tarzan, which was a very great movie in the 60s and 70s, they came to Africa to shoot it. They actually shoot it in the game reserve.
Okay.
Yeah, so if actors are exposed to a lot of danger, even then, the recent exposure of actors to danger, which cost us the life of about 5 actors, what is Nollywood doing about it? Because I know that when you shot that movie where you were put beside a lion, or where you shot all through the night, that there was no insurance.
Yeah. Yes. Well, right now, the Actors Guild of Nigeria have introduced insurance. But the problem we have is that most of these big actors, they don't pay.
The producers or the actors?
The actors. The insurance is for the actors.
Okay.
They don't pay. That is why when somebody is sick, they start looking for money, asking people to contribute. But if you are paying for your insurance annually, the insurance will take care of the person.
So why are the big actors not paying? They're supposed to lead by example.
That is where the Nigerian factor comes in. People believe when they put their hands like this. We have laws in Nigeria. The problem is actualization. You know, carrying out, making sure that that law is what do I use now? That enforcement of the law.
Is it not?
We don't enforce laws.
Is it not possible for the movie industry to be regulated in terms of what can be done, what should not be done? You know, some kind of regulation.
Yeah.
Is it not something that the older ones like you in the industry should put in place as a legacy?
Yeah, we are beginning to do that now. For instance, I can't shoot into the night now.
Okay.
It's not only me. Even the Actors Guild of the president, the executive of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, has made it as a law. You don't shoot more than 8 o'clock. In fact, and on Sundays, no shooting. You must go to church. You know, but some people still break that rule. But I don't break it. You can't force me to come on set on Sunday. I go to church. And they immediately, in fact, by 7 o'clock, I've left your set. I just pack my things and go.
But if you are supposed to be on a night scene, how can that be done if you can't shoot in the night?
It can be actualized. You make it an interior and cover. There's a way you cover the places, and what you'll be seeing is night. Of course, you cover the light with what do they call the foil, something like foil. It gives you night, so it becomes night scene. Or if it must be an exterior, immediately it's getting to 7 o'clock. You do the night shoot for 1 hour and go. Maybe for another day you do, but don't exceed 8 o'clock because of the security situation of the country.
I spoke to one of your colleagues, and we talked about, in quotes, forgive me, the beggarly behavior of artists, especially when they are ill or they are faced with one misfortune or the other. And she told me that one of the reasons is that royalties are not paid to artists and actors and actresses. If that does not happen, what is your guild doing about it? Have you tried to approach our representatives in National Assembly or government officials to see whether they can make that happen? Enforce that royalties be paid to those that have slaved doing their job.
Yeah, I think now the National Executive Council of the Actors Guild of Nigeria are working on that. This royalties thing, they're working on that because if you are working for a marketer, he takes the whole money. They just pay you the pittance they pay, and then after that, that's all. You won't even have a copy of what you have done. They stay there like Lord. Unfortunately, they are losing it now. We have put in place something. We now have a committee that should, I think, is headed by Joke Silva, to look into this matter and present paper to the National Assembly.
You know, I'm a little worried because a lot of the actors and actresses have become executive producers and directors. So if the marketers, the entrepreneurial marketers, people that came into Nollywood to make money, so they bring in money, produce a film, sell, make their money. If they are not doing the things that are supposed to be done, now that a lot of you are executive producers, directors, funders of some of these films, why are we still complaining about poor pay, poor conditions, and all that?
When you see...
I mean, because this is you.
When you see some actors becoming producers, and when they come to you and say, you know, this is my job, please help me, don't take much money. When you are doing your own, I will do the same thing. You understand? So the Yorubas, they just gather, put money together and do their film. And when the thing comes out, they share their money. So that's what our people are beginning to try now. When they help me, when it is your turn to, I will help you. You understand? So they will pay you pittance. But somebody like me, I'm not producing. I've produced about 2 films. I left the thing. I directed 1 or 2. I now discovered that in one, I'll stay in one film for about 1 or 2 weeks, but in 1 or 2 weeks, I have done about 3 or 4 movies. I made my money. So some of them are rushing into acting now.
Instead of producing themselves.
No, there are so many like that now. And some, when they produce, they also act. Because they say, people don't know them because they are behind the camera. But it's you that is in front of the camera. This one, you become a star.
So what gains has acting brought to your life?
Me?
Yes.
No. Not much, not much. Because I'm doing other things.
Okay.
And even when I was the chairman, I was the first chairman of Actors Guild of Nigeria, Enugu State.
Okay.
And I used to advise my actors, look for plan B. Because they cannot pay you what they are paying Jim Ike, Peter Doche. They will be paying you some pittance. Find something. Even if it is selling a few things, do it.
While you're chasing your dreams?
Oh, yes. Me, I'm doing about 2 or 3 businesses. I'm into rental services. I'm into, you see, and they, you know, but some of them, I tell them, you mustn't be in front of the camera to make money. Some people that are behind the camera, they also make money. And in Enugu State here, one lady that came to act, she discovered that she could not act. She went behind the camera, started doing makeup and props and set. That lady was the first person in props and sets that bought a car in Enugu. And then married and have 2 of her children are now stars. You know, so if you listen to advice at times, it will help you. But you'll be seeing some of these boys, and especially the young ones, they'll be carrying themselves up like that. Even if you go to set, they can't take their lines. They can't take their lines because they lack concentration, they don't read, they don't have anything.
Let me ask you a question I asked one of your colleagues or contemporaries. Does it then mean that those of you that are older are not good role models, you are not good mentors? Does it mean that there's nothing you're leaving for the younger generation?
Yeah,
What is the problem? Is there a disconnect somewhere?
Yes, discipline is important, and family background.
Are you saying that the younger ones are indisciplined?
Even some of the older ones. I know some of the older ones, some that are late now, they fasten their death. Because you do certain things that when the younger ones see, they think it is a nice thing. They drink a lot, they smoke any type of, they take drugs. In the industry, they involve themselves into so many rubbish things. I won't mention them. That I know about 2 of my friends that became sick and they had diabetes, and the doctor said don't drink. But one of them will stay and finish a bottle of hot drinks.
Where is he now?
He's down. He's dead. He's dead. At a stage, I had to advise him, don't do this and say that I should mind myself. Is it your business? That something must kill a man. Discipline. If you know some of those things you are not supposed to take, you leave them.
And so, some people have also said that this incessant appeal for help when actors get ill or are faced with one kind of misfortune or the other is because they didn't make hay when the sun was shining. Is it something those of you that are older talk or discuss with these younger ones? Anyway, some of your older ones too found themselves in those positions.
Oh yes, that's what.
So
I'm
what
saying.
could have been, what could be I mean, do you agree that lifestyle is part of the problem?
It is. Some people, when they pass like this, they hail you. Yeah, you believe that the whole world, you have it. But if you package, you see, packaging is important. You package yourself very well and behave very well. Somebody will come to the industry and say, this is a good man. Somebody will come and say, this man, he's always drinking, following women, doing all sorts of evil things, nonsense things, which is not good. The younger ones are looking at you. They will go and do the same thing you are doing, thinking that it's right. It's unfortunate, but that's what the way we find ourselves. You know?
We'll go for another break. When we return, we'll be asking Diewait Ikpechukwu, what is the roadmap? How can the Nollywood industry be better developed? And how can the young ones take their trade more seriously and leave good examples? Don't go away.
When the issues matter and the need to know matters.
The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up a Rufai committee recommending restructuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Ovoranwen was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Too Funny. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters.
My guest is still Diewait Ikpechukwu, from sports to Nollywood. Diewait, let's talk about some of your experiences. And I'm going back to sports. As a sports commentator, can you look back and tell me one of those matches that you ran commentary for or in that lingers in your memory?
Yeah, the match was between Rangers International and Shooting Stars.
ICC.
In Lagos. And I was in commentary with Ernesto Okonkwo, Joe Latte, and Carlo Udoch. And after the match, of course, Rangers won 1-0. The goal was scored by Ngade, Chimezie Ngade. They used to call him, Ernesto Okonkwo used to call him Two Goals Ngade. Because against Alusian Rocks that contained 7 Ghanaians and 2 Nigerians, one was Humphrey Ikpechukwu that later played for Rangers. Alusian Rocks beat every team, beat Leventis United. But Rangers in finals, no, semi-final, Rangers beat them by 2 goals. That was why Ernesto Okonkwo started calling him 2 goals Ungade. So in that match in Lagos, when we finished the match, it was a very, any match involving Rangers and ISCC in those days was a full house. So, Udibami,
who was playing for IICC?
yes, rushed, greeted Christian Chukwu. It was like war before the game started. After the game, Rangers won. Udibami rushed. I heard Christian Chukwu and they were moving and talking. So I said, so these people can be friends. And the spectators are killing themselves. So
It was always a tug of war.
hi. Rangers Vasco.
Rangers IICC.
ICC. From Enugu, people like Kennedy Lichuku, young, will give out four of their long vehicles and will carry supporters. They will drive all through the night. That time, there was no much security problem. They get to Lagos, they sleep in the bus and enter the stadium. That match is one match I can never ever forget in my life. Another one is Mehala.
Rangers. 1974.
Oh, that time I was small. I was 74. I had not entered university. But I went for that match. I didn't run commentary. But it was a very tough match, a match that Rangers went to America because Godwin Obueze and Kenneth Ilodigwe had left for United States and they were in Alabama University. So Rangers flew them back.
For that match?
Oh yes. And the match was tough.
Because I remember that Rangers had lost 3-0 in Egypt.
Yes. 2-0.
Or 2-0 in Egypt.
Yes. And Rangers beat them 3-0 here. And Ilodigwe, that was flown from America, was given a red card in that match. So Rangers played 10 against 11. From the tail end of the first half, I don't know what one Egyptian player, you know, these Arabs, they can look for trouble. Ilodigwe mashed him dangerously. They gave him red card. So some of us were saying, so
that spread panic.
So he was flown from America to come and collect red card in it. You know, it was a very tough match, and that was the match. Ernesto Okonkwo said, Mehala came to Enugu and saw Wahala.
he always had something to say.
So that was a tough match. I enjoyed the match.
So, in Nollywood, there were a lot of high points for you. You've done several movies. Which one do you look back and say, when you talk about Diewait Ikpechukwu and Nollywood, talk about this movie?
The very first movie I did, Evil Man. And then that one that took me to the zoo.
You don't want to forget that?
Antichrist. No, it's not. I can't forget that at all. I suffered in that movie. You know, at a stage that after that slap, I said I will not shoot again. They begged me. I went home. The next day, the executive producer begged me, and I came back. Because that slap was like hammer.
Well, when I saw you again, I did say that you look so good. What is the future holding? I mean, you're still very healthy.
Yes. We thank God for His God's mercy and discipline. I watch what enters my mouth.
And of course, there are grandchildren now.
Yeah, 5.
5 grandchildren?
Yes. I have 5.
So, do you look back at your life and say, thank you, God?
Yeah, I thank God every day of my life. I'm favored. You know, my children take very good care of me. They take very good care of me. And I have nothing to regret. You know, I have nothing to regret. And,
Nothing.
Nothing, absolutely nothing to regret.
Nothing to regret. And that's the signature show. And we've been talking with Diewait Ikpechukwu, from sports to Nollywood. And he has nothing to regret. Diewait, I must thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Until we do it again, I'm Vin Martin Ilo from Enugu in Nigeria. Thanks for watching.